Hi everyone. Today I would like to talk about living and working in Switzerland with family and children, and especially for working moms. And this is all my perspective, so please take it with a grain of salt. So first of all, Switzerland is in general a very developed society and a very rich country, and there are lots of opportunities for work. But if you're coming from a different school system and if you have a family, there are certain challenges that you might have. So the first question is, what does the high education bring here? In particular, do you have more opportunities if you have, for example, a PhD? Or is this even necessary for you if you're looking for a job? So in particular, for the PhD, there are quite a few good research institutions in Switzerland, of course, like the ETH or EPFL, University of Geneva, University of Zurich, and every year lots of students finish their doctoral studies here, lots of foreigners, and of course also Swiss. And the problem there is it depends on what you've done for your doctoral studies. Is it going to be easier for you to find a job, or is it going to be even harder than if you have just master studies? And in addition to that, if you have a family, if you have children and you're a mother, there comes another challenge. The employees here, they do like you to be highly educated and they do like the PhD, but in the end, the most important thing is, can you work a lot? Can you work as much as they need? And of course, how do you work? And even though the CV that has high education might go through well through the first rounds, like the HR or the manager who is just looking and screening at the different profiles, once you get to the interview, the personal questions like, do you have other obligations, like the children, for example, do come into play and maybe even overtake the knowledge part that you own. So, in particular, the working week here is a bit longer than maybe in some other countries that are more social. So it's usually 8.2 hours to 8.5 hours per week. So very often 42 hours week. Sorry, 8.5 hours per day. 42 hours per week. This already brings 8 hours more a month than in the countries where you have only 40 hours a week, and this is one whole day of work extra. This is the first thing to consider, and the lunch, of course, is not included in these hours, which leads you to be at least 9 hours and usually more than that on work without even maybe not having a proper lunch break. If you have a family, if you have children, then this is a challenge, since both parents, if they both work, need to be on work at least 9 hours plus the travel time. And if you do not have the grandparents here, this means your children are going to be in some form of a daycare or a school basically the whole day. In another video, I was talking about different things that make it harder for women here to work, like the taxes that the married couples pay together, or the maternity leave, which is only 3 months. But next to that, there is this issue of long working hours that then make it really hard for parents just to manage to pick up their kids on time and spend any time with them during the day. This is, of course, not something that is only valid in Switzerland. In every country with longer working hours or with a longer commute, if you do not have the grandparents or friends close, you have this issue. So but it's just important to be aware of it also in Switzerland. And I did have questions on interviews of what if I need to work in the evening and something has to be done, or there is a meeting that is later, how am I going to take care of my children? Do I have childcare planned for those events? And also in the case the children are ill, what am I going to do? And this is actually illegal to even ask in terms of, I mean, not illegal that they are not allowed to ask it, but the law here provides you with 3 days of leave if your child gets sick and you have to take care of them. So it is not your obligation to search for a nanny, but it is your right as a parent to stay home with your child if they cannot attend the school or kindergarten or their daycare. But I did get this question a few times. And in general, as mentioned in my other video, lots of women with children, especially small children, do not work. So being a young woman with children who works 100% or 80%, it's not so usual here, and often you can feel this. Now I have to say, on the positive side, the part-time work is something that is here offered by most of the companies. What does that mean? It means that you can often reduce your work to, for example, 80%, so 4 days a week, or every day shorten your time on work, sometimes even to the lower percentages, although this is harder. So lots of companies nowadays offer 80 to 100%. And lower is a bit harder to find, but it's not impossible. This is something that in many countries is not yet in practice, but here in Switzerland it is. And there are also people who do not have family obligations, but who just want to have a day free and manage to arrange to work, for example, 80%. So this is a positive thing. And also after the Corona time, many companies went to this combination of work from home and in office, which allows you to save at least this commute time or finish something at home in parallel when you can. So this is definitely something that's in that sense improving. The job market is tough as everywhere. There are jobs advertised, but there are also lots of people trying to get the good ones. The salaries can be in a very different range depending even for the same positions. And again, like in almost every society, there is quite an inequality, although in Switzerland it's pretty obvious, the inequality between very rich and very highly paid positions and just the usual positions. So this is some of my view on the working in Switzerland, and I hope you like it.